Well, joining me now live in our Lagos studio to discuss this trend we have in the market and much more, I have energy editor with New Telegraph, Adiola Yusuf. Good to have you on the breakfast show this morning.
My pleasure.
Now, we've had this discussion around the price range we expect the pump price of petrol to be without petrol subsidy. And I remember that conversation where we didn't want to have the conversation around prophecies of doom, so to speak. 250 naira was the peg we put there about in March, April. But now, how do we begin to address this cost differential, the widening gap between the cost and then the pump price and then the landing cost of petrol? It seems you're getting deeper into trouble.
Okay, thank you so much. It's very, very important that we put some things in perspective. Is this not expected? I would say it is expected. And the reason is that even though a number of Nigerians are not aware of the cost, most times when you see a flame and you are trying to extinguish the flame from the flame, you keep having issues until you decide to extinguish the flame from the root of the flame. So it's important that I put the cost of this in perspective. Number one, Nigeria is importing petroleum products, and the price of crude oil, which is where we get even all petrol and all that, is skyrocketing in the international market. As at last Wednesday, it sold at $76 per barrel. And this has even encouraged a number of analysts to say that the $100 per barrel mark is possible.
Well, this morning it's traded at about 73, 74, 75.
Yes.
Look at OPEC basket, Brent crude, and a whole lot more.
Yes. So that has been the reason we are having it, tough. We're having the prices of petroleum product, particularly PMS, premium meter spirit, going up.
Well, the indices, Mr. Yusuf, if I may button here, the indices or the concerns here is the first and foremost, the 2021 budget does not have any room for the subsidy. And subsidy still remains an unsustainable strategy. We initially saw the price modulation mechanism that was introduced, announced by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, saying that this will reflect the market tendencies. And then we still have the NNPC as the sole importer. So we have other marketers that not necessarily playing any role at all. Their licenses are just laying there. Okay, what I said earlier is to give a background to all this. And the perspective to rising prices of PMS, is multidimensional. There are some people that have political perspective to it. There are some people that have business perspective to it. There are some people that have humanitarian perspective to it. Let's talk of political perspective. People have seen reasons to keep, giving stress to NNPC to keep, subsidizing because of because of reasons best known for them to keep being popular, as politicians. That's number one. Number two, the business perspective to read is that it doesn't make any sense to keep subsidizing these products. And one of those that have shared that perspective is the GMD of NNPC, Malamile Kriari. He has repeatedly said that this thing is reflecting on the pulse of the corporation. The third one, which is the humanitarian, are people that will not understand either of the two that I mentioned earlier, but they will just say that it's very, very necessary. There will even be some people that will say that because we are a oil producer as a country, why should we need to even pay for petrol? You understand? So those are the three perspectives, major perspectives on the table. But the one that I think is best for all of us to understand is the one that is of business. If we like it or not, we are not paying the price at the pump price. But definitely, we are still paying the price because NNPC, that is struggling. The fact is, NNPC is a business. Those behind NNPC want to run it as a business to be profitable. You understand? So whether we like it or not, the price that we are not paying at the pump price, we are paying it through NNPC that belongs to all of us. You understand? So it's important. But the major problem now is that I know the group general manager of public affairs of NNPC is trying his best to sensitize Nigerians, but we will still need Nigerians and every other person to be on the same page to keep sensitizing Nigeria. If we are all able to get everyone to the table to realize that it is against every business sense to keep subsidizing this product. Until we do that, you understand, we'll keep moving a step forward and about 5 backward.
Now, do you think this also heightens the concerns raised by the International Monetary Fund? Because we had reports from last week where the mission head was saying that we can't continue with this subsidy. Now, as the earlier forecast, we had 3.3 billion to 4 billion naira daily. Now it's about $5 billion.
It's more than $5 billion. Over. It's more than $5 billion.
How does this also come to you for the fact that we are not having our refineries at the state they should be? We largely are not producing, irrespective of OPEC Plus decisions or not. We are still importing, and then we are open to external shocks. At the end of the day, the conversation around our refining capacity has to be revisited, to say the least.
Yes, that is the truth. I am aware of the fact that a lot of activities are going on in that refinery, be it public or private.
Okay, Mr. Yusuf, I'd like you to hold your thought. We have a commercial break we'll just have to quickly take, and then when we come back, the conversation continues. It's still the TVC Breakfast Show. You're watching. So watching TVC Breakfast, and it's the Business Desk presentation looking at the energy sector today. I have with me Adiola Yusuf. Thank you very much for still staying by. Now, still trying to understand the volume of the situation we have on ground. The initial peg was about $3.3 to $4 billion on a daily basis for petrol subsidy. Now it's over 5 billion naira. Translating this to real economic terms, I think for the federal government or for the average Nigerian who still feels comfortable with this subsidy regime, don't understand what this volume of money really is. Now, this raises questions as to whether or not we understand what the excesses or the extras we have as we've seen oil rally on the international market, because our initial peg for this year was about $40. Now it's about $70-something, so that's about almost twice the price peg. So we need cushions, money for infrastructure, money for development, money for agenda to ensure that Nigeria develops. But we are not having that because we still have the subsidy regime still stay. And some analysts are also saying, well, this is also fueling some level of corruption.
Of course, it will definitely, do. One thing everyone needs to understand is that 5 billion naira every day, on subsidy is inexplicable. It's something that shouldn't even be. We shouldn't be in this kind of situation. We all know that if everyone, has been sensitized properly, and we all agree that this subsidy should go, I think it is going to be fine for Nigeria. 5 billion naira every day on subsidy. It's not something that everyone should be, should be happy about. I was talking about refineries, effort on refineries the other time, because of the fact that we are a major crude oil exporter. It's very, very ironical that we are still the major in Africa. We are still the biggest importer of, PMS. So if we are able to ensure that the efforts, private and public efforts on refining capacity, or surging to refining capacity of the country, all those activities, materialize, it is going to be fine for Nigeria. I am aware that a lot of activities are going on. The government is trying to change the tune from oil to gas. The government is trying to diversify from oil to ensure that the yield dependency of oil on petrol products is reduced.
To support this sort of transition, we need huge funds. Now, this 5 billion naira we're spending on a daily basis on petrol subsidy, these are supposed to be funds that are supposed to aid such transitions, because it's quite an expensive feat as well. We just have an unnecessary fixation on oil. Let's just put things mildly.
So David, the unfortunate thing is that not every Nigerians understand it the way you have understood it. So we need systemic or planned communication, sensitization, orientation. Everyone, the National Orientation Agency, everybody, has to be on the same page to ensure that Nigerians understand this the way we understand it. Because the minute subsidy is mentioned, removal of subsidy is mentioned, everyone is going to line up against it again.
Let's talk about social cushions now. cushions are necessary, because when the subsidy is going to be removed, it's going to heighten the pressure on average Nigerian, and we know the cyclical approach it also has to things from transportation to food and a whole lot more. We're going to see increments across board. So what sort of agenda do you also expect the government to also put in terms of social support and cushions to ensure that we don't have this pinch as much as we already fear?
Okay, that 5 billion naira every day in 10 days will be 50 billion naira on spending on the spending on subsidy. I believe the government can channel all that to social, support for Nigerians. If they are able to do that, what Nigerians need, are not too much. Number one, food on their table. Number two, good healthcare, delivery. Number three, maybe for mobility, good transport system and all that.
Security.
Security. So if the government is able to channel this money to all those, or even before that, all these ones have, budgets already. So government can just use payment on subsidy to, augment those ones and ensure that. But another problem now is that there is this, issue of trust. Nigerians do not, even though they have told them, the government, has told them that, okay, we are going to use that money. They do not believe that that will be done, you understand? But everyone, because of patriotism, everyone has to be on the same page. As we speak now, I'm aware that the labor union and the government are on the table talking about this subsidy. They should hasten up. The labor union should hasten up. Let everyone understand, and so that we stop this, I shouldn't call it waste, but in the real sense, it's waste. We should stop this waste as quickly as possible. From one of the statements issued by the GGM of NNPC Public Affairs, Dr. Kenny Obateru, he has repeatedly, highlighted a number of programs that NNPC has put in place to ensure that all these are so. The onus is all on all Nigerians now. You understand, particularly those that have that voice, to let everyone.
I'd like to put you on the spot. We have less than 30 seconds to go on the spot. What do you think should be the price peg of petrol at this point in time on the pump price?
Okay, that is determined by a number of factors.
But
the number one is the price of crude at the international market, which is, as at yesterday, is about $73.
But do you concur that the retail price should be at about 254 naira 90 kobo?
No, that is the real price. But the subsidy, is the one that is still beating it down.
I see you are playing coy with this message, but thank you very much for your time on the breakfast show this morning. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
I'm honored.
Well, this is where we wrap up from the business desk. Many thanks for watching.